Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of All Sports Matter. We are here tonight. I got my brothers with me as always. So I want y'all to welcome them to the stage. Give it up for Mr. Amir Poppy Shiraz Ortiz.
What's going on, social media world, Facebook friends, YouTubers, sports
Fleck.
fanatics? Let's do this.
Let's do it. Fleck, Mr. Two Belts More.
What it do? What it do? Gator Chomp, let's get it.
And last but not least, the big robbery.
We go. Wrong motherfucking tide. I'm in here. Glad to see everybody. And we got a lot going on this week. That's all I can say.
We got a lot going on and a little time to get there. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, fellas. So we all know what happened this week. Well, last week, we saw what happened. You know, we had our hiatus. We had a small vacation last week, so I didn't get a chance to talk about how it was the Warriors in 6, but we ain't gonna go there. We did have the NBA draft popped off. And we saw what everybody did. There was some surprises in the draft. There was some not so big surprises. So some stuff we knew was gonna happen. But this week we got a whole lot of other stuff going on. We know free agency opened up yesterday, and things went absolutely crazy. So what's y'all thoughts? What was the biggest surprise of free agency so far? What's the biggest surprise that y'all saw so far?
I hit you with it. The amount of money that the Knicks gave for a point guard. I was mind completely blown. Not to mention, didn't they hire his father as a coach?
They did.
Okay. When it's that level, that's real. That's real. I don't know what they saw that made it go that high, but hey, you know, it's the Knicks. What you gonna do? That one blew my mind. And James Harden taking less. I did not see
he was
that
gonna
coming.
have to.
No, he could have took his one. He could have took his 1 year and got that money, but he wants more years, and I can understand that.
I didn't see him taking less, but I mean, you talk about the Knicks, and you can't talk about the Knicks without letting your resident Knick go ahead and have his say in it. Amir, what your guys doing up there?
I wanna go back a week, like you said, start at the draft. I wanna discuss the Knicks doing complete opposite of what the draft does, and they unloaded. It unloaded $30 million draft night by unloading Kemba Walker, Trey Burks, Noel. They also decided to give up their 11th pick, 11th pick. Yeah. And said, hey, take him too. But I think I'm one of few who is actually, I'm happy about how last week started. Okay, I'm only talking about last week. What they did, getting 3 future first rounders and dropping all that money, because obviously that Kemba Walker contract was, holy crap. That was I knew it was a crap show to begin with. Not, he can't stay healthy. I was happy when I heard that Boston was just not going to re-sign him, and the Knicks did, because I was like, hey, we got somebody that Boston ain't got no more. But then I saw the numbers, and I was like, whoa, okay, that changes things, because Kemba Walker is not worthy of those numbers. Now, brings us back to numbers, brings us back to this week, and another player who's not worthy of the numbers, again, is Jalen Brunson. He's a stud. But he's a top 15 point guard. Okay? A top 15 point guard. Now, I'm looking at the pros and cons. The Knicks hasn't had a true point guard that can play 82 games in forever. Okay?
I still don't think they got a number one point guard.
They don't.
Not a true point guard. Brunson, he's more of a score first guard. Like, I mean, he's what Kemba Walker was supposed to be for you guys. That's how I'm looking at that.
And I'm okay with that.
Size though.
I'm okay with
size though.
Huh?
You don't have the size to compete with them guys though.
But I mean, AI didn't have the size, but he put up points. And that's all they need him to do is put up.
Brunson ain't AI.
Hold up. I'm not saying Brunson is the next AI.
Oh, I
Do not get that twisted.
thought you had Wayne
I'm not
Frazier
saying
for a
that.
second. I was about to say,
I
sir.
am not saying that. I am going strictly on
We
size.
knew you was a Celtics fan, but we knew you wasn't comparing them two.
I am
We
going
got that.
strictly
We
on
understood.
size.
Goodness gracious.
I'm going strictly
so-
on size.
Okay, so for me, here's the issue. Either Thibodeau got to go, or they need a new offensive. I'm about to say football here, offensive coordinator. That's not a thing. They need somebody on that team that can take the ball out of Julius Randle's hands.
They have a coach.
I
that
don't
calls the
understand
offensive
because the issue is last year they failed because of Julius Randle. The year before that, they made it to the playoffs because of Julius Randle. So it's like you're 50-50 there. And as a Knicks fan, it's frustrating because I know Julius Randle should not be bringing down the ball. He shouldn't, period. So that's where I am as far as I like Brunson. I do, but for $104 million 4-year contract,
110, sir.
they overreached. Yeah, they signed his daddy, who's been in the league now. He's not somebody who was coaching Pop Warner or CYS Sports. He's been in the league as an assistant. Okay, he coached in college. We get that. So he's not somebody who's new to the game. But I already knew for the moment they brought him on that Jalen Brunson was going to be the pick. It was obvious. I don't know why he scheduled Miami Heat visit. I don't know why he scheduled Dallas visit. He was sitting in New York the entire time talking about when can I sign Daddy, and it happened.
He just had to make it seem like he wanted to do something else. Everybody knew it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to New York.
Dallas was going to throw some money at him.
Yeah.
I don't know if they was going to throw Nick level money at him. Well, obviously they weren't going to throw.
Their offer was 3 years.
No,
3 years, 70 something.
No, they offered. No, Dallas offered. Well, reportedly offered. It was 5 years, 110 mil, which is more in line per year with what I thought he was going to get.
Oh, okay. Because my sources said that Dallas didn't even get a chance to give the offer. That's the offer that they wanted to give.
No,
right.
They gave an offer.
That was the reported offer.
Hold on. Let's take it back a little bit. They gave an offer before the All-Star break. They offered him an extension before the All-Star break.
They offered him. It was reported that they offered him one after the season.
So the one that they gave him in season was not the one that he bet himself on. Now, they gave him an offer like 3 years, 77 mil, something like that.
Right.
Prior to the All-Star break, he bet on himself, which is a great deal because he showed out. He did. Jalen Brunson did show out.
He did, and
he was a good. I'm not gonna say a role player, but he was good coming off Luka's. Obviously everybody already knew Luka was the point guard there.
And that's what I feel like. I feel like he's not gonna have that Luka buffer in New York.
Maybe it all depends on what Julius
not,
Randle does.
Not if they're wanting him to play pure point in New York.
Well, they did. They got the same thing with D Rose. D Rose is a pure point guard, but the way the Knicks are set up right now, the ball goes through Julius Randle. The issue is Julius Randle brings the ball down, and the ball still goes to Julius Randle. And that's an issue, for me as a fan, and as any basketball critic can tell you, you can't bring the ball down and then expect the ball to be passed to you at the same time. You already got the ball. How does that work?
That's the Knicks' bread and butter play, the give and go. So Julius Randle bring it down, he give it to RJ Barrett, and then he go and you give it right back to him. That's what we do. And once people got a hold of that, then they knew what it was.
But that system, RJ Barrett he's blossomed in that system. We don't know which Julius Randle we'll get this season. RJ Barrett took a huge step up last year.
Right.
He did. And they still got Cam Reddish. What Cam Reddish are they going to put in this system? Now, is Jalen Brunson going to be able to facilitate that offense? We don't know because the offense still runs to Julius Randle.
Are they going to play Cam Reddish though?
That's the question.
I think they will.
I mean, they're actually looking to
trade him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They traded for him last year and then didn't even use him.
And that's a good segue right there because we've been seeing a whole lot of trades, right? They looking to trade Cam Reddish. You saw what happened.
A big one today.
you saw what happened with Danilo Gallinari. I don't understand
God,
what the
Jesus.
Spurs was talking about. I don't know what's going through the
Hey,
Spurs
look.
head.
At first glance at that trade, I was like, the Spurs got robbed. But after looking at it some more, I mean, they got some good picks out of that. You know what I mean? They got some good picks.
It's a future move. It's a move for the future.
I
And
mean, let's be real though. Your Spurs are in a rebuild.
we're in a complete rebuild.
Let's
Because we have
call it
literally
Now,
we
They're
have
in a
gutted.
rebuild.
We have gutted the squad, and literally they're trying to get prepared for next season to go after the kid from I think he's French.
the
France
guy
guy.
from France, the Frenchman.
Yeah. So this should be.
And I think that's what that Murray trade was, for them to have as many dart throws as they can to be able to get up to number one, to try to go after the French, the kids from France.
I get it. They're looking at the little Frenchman, but I mean, you bring up Frenchman, and
Rudy
you have,
Gobert.
you have to know I'm going there.
Rudy Gobert.
So when I saw this trade, right, the first thing I thought about was the Lakers and the Pelicans from a couple of years ago.
You can't.
You gave up so much capital, and the guy that you got didn't show up like you wanted him to.
Because what I'm going to tell you about that is it's not the same.
That's what I'm
Lakers
about to
gave
say.
up all of their youth and their picks to go after AD.
Right, but that's what I was about
all
to
their
say.
youth and their picks.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. I was about to say it's not going to be the same type of situation. Number one, because like you said, the Lakers gave up their youth. Number two, Rudy Gobert does not sit on the injured list as much as Anthony Davis does. Because when I'm down here in New Orleans right now, right, the whole time Anthony Davis was down here, stayed hurt. He kept saying, "Oh, it's the trainers, it's the medical staff. They can't keep me healthy." Blah blah blah. Go to LA and it's the same thing. So what exactly was it? Was it the medical staff down here, or was it Anthony Davis? Was it his
boy is Mr. Glass? I mean, we all know that.
Exactly. So
the boy is Mr. Glass.
I don't think it's gonna be the same like what happened in Los Angeles. And by everybody who knows me knows that before the Pelicans got to New Orleans,
the New Orleans Lakers,
I'm a Laker fan. The Pelicans came down. There's no reason for me to not go with the hometown team. So now I just have dual citizenship. But you know, I'm gonna still follow the Lakers. If I might not be as hard into my fandom right now because I'm waiting on the LeBron James project, as it were, to kind of come to a conclusion, if so they can start their rebuild and do what they need to do. But I don't think that this Minnesota thing is going to be as bad as the Lakers. Now, whether or not they can put stuff together the way they need to is yet to be seen. So we'll see next year what they can do. But what y'all think about it? How y'all feel?
I don't think it's comparable to the Lakers situation, only because, like I said, they didn't give up their youth. They gave up, they
gave up all their
pick, unprotected picks at that.
Mm-hmm.
They gave up a boatload of picks, but they have enough youth already on their roster that they can withstand giving up those picks, as long as that youth gels and keeps those picks, you know what I'm saying, late teens, early 20s, to where, okay, you won this because all they're getting is picks in the late teens and the 20s. I'm more curious about the fit. I know Cat can step out, shoot the three or whatever, but I'm more curious about that. I'm more curious about how that's gonna look. You know what I mean? Gimmick Gobert and Cat on the floor together. I'm more curious about whether they're gonna play Cat at the 4, let Gobert protect the rim at the 5, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I'm more curious to see that fit.
I think for me, you give me a roster that starts with Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, D'Angelo Russell, and Anthony Edwards. And I'll tell you right now, that's the top 4 squad. The issue is, hold on, let me finish. The issue with that is they're in the West, where the Nuggets. I know where you was going with. I know you're going with it. I'm just saying that roster is good enough to be top 4 in the East.
Right.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. Now, unfortunately, obviously, Golden State I think will be a hell of a lot better. They're only going to get Wiseman back. They're going to get Jordan Poole more experience. They lost Otto Porter Jr., Gary Payton Jr. They lost those guys to free agency. But the Nuggets, I think Memphis overachieved, but I think they're still going to be as competitive. And hell, who's the number 1 seed? I don't even think about
Golden State.
Golden State.
Golden State.
No, Golden State was 3.
Golden State was 3. Phoenix was number 1.
Phoenix was the number 1.
Phoenix. And that's what I'm going to allude to now. The reason I blanked them out because they were so disappointing in the playoffs. But it all depends. If they get KD, they don't get KD. If they decide to keep Ayton, if they did not get Ayton, there's so many question marks in Phoenix. It's ridiculous.
If they somehow land KD, it's going to be at the expense of Booker, which me personally, I would not do.
Wouldn't do it.
Only because Booker is younger and can shoot just as good. You know what I mean? That's me personally.
So he just got done dating a Kardashian. I think they're done. So I don't know. He might not be as distracted.
You know that Kardashian
curse.
curse.
I don't know.
That Kardashian curse. But to bring up KD, right? What is his legacy right now? What do you see his legacy?
Can I go
I'm
first?
gonna let Rob go because Rob ain't really said much.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob. Go ahead.
You don't want my opinion on him because I think he's a phenomenal. I think he's a phenomenal scorer. But as far as a leader, and would I put him as in the category of top player GOAT conversation? No, I would not. I would not put him in the conversation. I'd say he's a top 5 greatest score, one of the top 5. If not, he'll end up probably with the most points of any scorer out by the time he finishes. But this mentality of I'll stay here for a couple of years, then I'll go to the next team. I don't mind joining a team that already has 3 established stars, 2 established stars to get a championship. To me, that's not what a baller does. Anybody who's played the game or who is invested in basketball, you don't see people moving like this. And to me, he'll finish top. I'll say he'll be one of the top 4 scorers to ever live, top 3, top 4. But as far as like greatest of all times, he's out of the category for me.
I think the 4 of us came up in an era where, super team building was frowned upon. You know what I mean? Like we all came up in the Celtics of the 80s and 90s, the Lakers of the 80s and 90s, the Bulls of the 90s. We all came up in that, the Spurs of the early 2000s. We all came up in that area where
the Lakers of the
you're on a team and that's your team. Huh?
Don't discount the Lakers of the early 2000s. See, I knew you were.
Remember, he was a fan then. Don't discount his team. Don't discard his team. He was a fan then. Remember?
Just because you're a Celtics
they haven't even made it to New Orleans yet. But whatever. So all I'm saying is I understand the old school mentality of, you don't go where there's already 3 people that can carry a team and join in to chase a ring. For me, him leaving Golden State was him saying, okay, y'all saying I can't do it on my own. Let me go here with one other star, because Harden wasn't there at the time. It was Kyrie and KD that went to Brooklyn together. Let me go here and show you guys that, hey, I can do it with me and, a sidekick. It didn't work out that way because Kyrie couldn't stay on the court for one reason or the other. I'm not going to get into the politics of, why he wasn't on the court. We all know why he wasn't on the court. And I don't blame KD for wanting to get out of that Brooklyn it's a fire. I don't blame KD.
You was going right. Don't fire.
Yeah, I don't blame KD for that.
But this is my question.
Only because he came there with, the intent on him and Kyrie being on the court together.
But it wasn't
Brooklyn
just
is a mess
Kyrie.
right now, bro.
But
Brooklyn is a mess right now.
And you're right. But let's look at it. Brooklyn at one time, they had Spencer Dinwiddie. They had Patty Mills, Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge.
They didn't have them all at the same time.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. They had every
They
one
had
of them
all
on the
the
roster at the
seasons.
same time.
When they
Along
won that
with
one
DeAndre
playoff
Jordan.
Dinwiddie wasn't there with
When they won.
with
Yes,
Blake,
he
was
was.
he?
Yep.
Yes, he was.
Well,
Yes.
okay.
And that's the problem. That's the problem I have. They stacked this team with players who have been complete multi-time all-stars
But how
and
can
made
you
them
call
role
that?
players. They
How
made
can you
them
call
role
Blake Griffin
players.
stacked, though?
Bro, if you remember
He's a role player.
at the beginning of the season, they had it already dubbed. It's gonna be the Lakers against the Nets in the NBA Finals.
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
we all know that neither one of those happened.
We definitely know that because the Lakers
And I
was
mean-
a dump the fire all in itself, and the Nets was the Nets.
And then they brought in James Harden.
But was that KD's fault? Was
I
what
mean-
happened in Brooklyn KD's fault?
I mean,
But-
are you a
Talking about
leader?
KD here, right?
Are you a leader?
But
Was that
let's
his
not
fault?
pretend. Let's not. I'm seriously under the. I may be wrong to have this impression, but I am quite sure that he reached out to James Harden to come to Brooklyn and play with him again.
But
And,
James
and that's my
Harden's
doubt.
issue was with Kyrie, though, right?
Say that again.
Harden's issue was with Kyrie, right?
Later on, yeah, but he wanted to
That's
come
what I'm
because
saying. But
he
we're
wanted
talking
to play.
about KD, though. We're talking about
But-
KD and
my
how
thing
he
is-
played a role in all this, right?
Right, but he was the one. He was the main puppet master who was asking, getting, and recruiting people to come to Brooklyn.
We know.
And
who's
that's my
what-
thing.
Harden.
I don't
So
like
was it
the-
his fault that Kyrie couldn't stay on the court?
No, that has nothing to do with it. Because if that's the thing, if Kyrie would have played, would we have this conversation now?
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
But
That
wouldn't
was
be just
KD's
because-
that's KD's
But-
whole mindset right now is, hey, look, I signed up to play with Kyrie. I came to Brooklyn because me and Kyrie supposed to be leading this team. Kyrie, I mean, he wasn't injured.
he wasn't
He
injured,
wasn't
but
injured.
I mean,
He was
that-
missing all these
that's-
games. He wasn't injured.
but that's one of them. That's one of them personal things. And you know, we don't get into politics on this show.
Exactly. That's why I
But,
said it the way
you
I
know,
said it.
It's one of them things. He didn't believe in doing that, so he stuck by his convictions. I mean, you would do the same thing if that's your conviction. You would stick by your convictions, and I mean,
Right. And
you
I'm
have
not
to
saying he was
you have to
right or
respect him
wrong.
for standing his ground, though.
I'm not saying he was right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm saying KD's mindset is, hey, dude, look, I signed up to play with you, and you're not here.
But and
50% of the time, you're not here.
But and on the other side of that coin, though, he still could have played in the other games that wasn't in New York. Steve Nash decided I'm not gonna play him when we're on the road.
right.
But he played
He
with
couldn't
him.
practice. He couldn't practice the
He
team
couldn't
at all.
practice.
He couldn't
He
practice.
couldn't practice, so he'd mess up the whole chemistry.
Right, but even when you go on the road, bring him off the bench, do something. Let him run through some
Okay,
run
yeah.
throughs when you get there.
So
Exactly. Like,
Let me
On the road, that's all I'm saying,
let
on the road.
look on Kyrie's past. Even if COVID never existed, Kyrie would still would have found a way to take a couple weeks off here and there.
Yeah,
That's just who he is.
he's a flat earther.
You know, he literally disappeared. Like nobody even knew where he was for that whole week, like 2 seasons ago.
mhm.
You know, like nobody knew where he was. He was just like, I'm gone. And then all of a sudden he sent the message out talking about I'm gonna need 2 more weeks after that to get my head back in the game. After you disappeared for a week. Now, Harden was traded because him and Kyrie couldn't get along. I already knew that was gonna work when you got 2 point guards. Usually 2 good point guards. Doesn't really work out, you know. With that being said, I still not giving KD the out because if they trade Kyrie right now for peanuts just because they want him gone, why is KD trying to leave? If the problem is Kyrie,
because
why is KD trying to leave?
his problem is Kyrie is not available. That's his problem.
Well, I'm
But-
saying they're going to trade him. No,
Right.
listen to me. No,
You
I'm trying to
came
meet.
to-
I'm trying to meet.
KD's
I get what you're saying.
entire. I know.
No, I get what you're saying.
I'm answering your question. KD's entire mindset was, I came to Brooklyn to play with Kyrie.
They got together. Yes, I got that.
That
I
was
got
his
that.
whole mindset. The reason I came to Brooklyn is because I wanted to play with Kyrie.
Okay, so how's this for hypothetical, right? Well, not even hypothetical, because we all know that the mask mandate has been lifted in the shot stuff. The vaccination mandate for the NBA has been lifted in New York, so Kyrie can play, right? So Kyrie opted in, but you still not now you can play with Kyrie because that's what you came here for, but you still asked for a trade.
Do we know what's going on behind the scenes with it?
We
The
don't,
Nets,
but it's also
from all intents and purposes, the Nets are done with Kyrie, whether he opted in or
Right.
not.
right. And so it's also been reported that Kyrie and KD are trying to facilitate a trade to the same team.
I've only heard that about one team, and that's not going to happen.
We know that's not going to
the
happen.
New Orleans,
but-
that's the New Orleans Lakers.
I swear, the Lakers ain't got nothing to do with this. The New Orleans ain't got nothing to do with this. Or the Lakers do. You're right. The Lakers do. But we know that
For both of
we
them.
know it's not going to happen going to the Lakers because they want to pair them with Anthony Davis, with Mr. Glass for whatever reason. They're just trying to get rid of Russell Westbrook. But we know that's not going to happen because they don't have the assets that they need to do, because what they did, they gave them all to New Orleans. But they're trying to figure out a way to still be on the same team for whatever reason. So, and the reason I'm hearing that, you know, Kyrie opted back in is because they couldn't find a sign and trade partner. So it's easier to just opt in and then get traded from there than trying to get a sign and trade partner. Now, will somebody take the both of them? Who knows? It might be the Kings. It might be the Denver Nuggets. You know,
Nuggets ain't got no money for that.
The Nuggets,
Exactly.
I was about to say, the Nuggets just gave Jokic $270 million.
exactly. But you know, I'm hearing KD want to go to the Heat, somebody like that. You know, it just seems like he's trying to, you know, since he went out, he ventured out on his own and he failed. Now he wants to go and join a ready-made team again, like he did when he joined the Golden State Warriors.
And that's
Is
my other
Miami ready
issue.
made though?
I mean,
With
Miami-
what they would have to give up to get him. I mean,
because they say what, Bam? They have to give up
Bam,
Bam.
and
Right?
have
it's
to
not
give up
going to
Bam.
just be Bam. It's going to be Bam.
It's
and
going to be
other
some
people.
extra, but yeah,
Right.
they're going to definitely, Bam is going
Have
to
to
be a
give up, like,
centerpiece.
Bam, Kyle
Will
Lowry.
Miami be ready made?
Yeah, they have to give up like Kyle Lowry, Duncan
Will
Robinson.
him and Jimmy Butler be enough?
Not even close.
By
Without PJ
themselves.
Tucker, too? No.
Because I'm not sure. No, PJ Tucker already gone.
Yeah, I said without PJ Tucker.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. I was about to say PJ Tucker signed with Philly.
Mm-hmm.
So would him and Jimmy Butler be enough by themselves?
Not at all. Not even in the slightest.
Not even
So-
close.
They get their heads punched in every
So can we call Miami ready made?
well, no,
With what they would have to give up to get him?
but that's what I'm saying.
Well, hold on,
After
but
they
what's,
give it up, they're not ready made, but they're ready made
What?
now. Like when he went, but see, he signed, he didn't get traded to the work.
And that's what I exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
Miami got the number one seed pretty much without Bam. No, let's just throw that out there.
No, playoff Bam didn't show up. Regular season Bam was Jimmy Butler's number 2. Him and Tyler Hero.
He still was
He was
inconsistent.
strong.
He was the, you know, I think with Lowry as inconsistent as he is, Tyler Hero, Mitchell Robinson, and KD and Butler
Mitchell
for the
Robinson.
East. That's again a top 14.
They should
Mitchell
get rid of Robinson, honestly.
Duncan
That's,
Robinson.
Duncan.
Wait,
They need to
whatever,
get rid of
whatever.
Duncan.
Yeah,
Mitchell
Duncan Robinson,
played
that
in New York.
but
Yeah,
you're not
no,
about to,
I was
that guy
confused.
too.
I was confused.
you're not about to trade Duncan Robinson for Kevin Durant. That just don't seem logical.
Well, you can add him in the package with
He
You
has
can
a
add him in the
contract
package.
of like $13 million a year that they gave him last
yeah.
year.
It's definitely
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna be like Bam, Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson.
Okay, hold up. We got a question. Where could KD go to get respect back, or what can he do to get a better image?
Go to
OKC.
Sacramento. Take
Wait,
Sacramento to the
go back to
Sacramento
OKC.
to the finals. take the Sacramento Kings to the finals.
OKC got too many picks.
Let me tell you something.
They'll mess around and luck up and get him help. So you can't go there.
Kevin
I'm
Durant.
just answering the question.
If
Right now, his image is tarnished.
If he
It's
sit
tarnished for
down,
the coach.
shut up, and play basketball and actually win, if he leads,
Oh
his
man,
team,
you're not saying shut up and dribble, are you?
No, Lord, don't say
no,
that.
I'm not. I'm definitely not saying shut up and dribble. But I'm saying shut up and play basketball and stop sitting there calling yourself the god when bro, you real suspect. You can't even bring your team to do nothing. You can't get Mr. Hurt back to play. Kyrie looking for the square corner on the earth. You supposed to be the leader of this team, right? Lead the team. You supposed to be able to get them past wherever they need to get past. Get them past that. You the leader,
So-
right? BKD.
Everywhere I'm reading, all the sources are saying that Kyrie to the Lakers is still feasible with Westbrook, Taylor Horton, whatever the kid's name is,
Yeah,
and
It
a
would-
2029 first round pick. Because you know the Lakers ain't got nothing.
It would have to
Yeah, they ain't
be
got no
it would have to be some complicated 3 to 4 team trade because
It has to be.
Brooklyn ain't gonna just take Westbrook's
Long,
salary
Let me say-
incredibly
and be
long
content
salary.
with a 2049 draft pick.
So let me
Because the
say-
Lakers ain't got no draft pick for like the next 30 years.
Hold on,
This
but
is what
that
has to
works
happen.
though because Russell's is like 46. Kyrie just went in for what 30 something,
No,
So
I'm not saying the
Brooklyn-
math don't work. I'm not saying the math don't work.
this
and
is
it's only for
I'm saying,
1 year.
why would Brooklyn
Again, it's only for
want
1
Westbrook?
year. It's only for 1 year.
Why would they want Westbrook for? I mean, basically, they're getting Westbrook for a pick that they're not going to give for the next 40 years.
okay, but
It's
Like,
more of
I'm
let's
gonna
get
do it.
past this season. Brooklyn is done. Brooklyn is
understand
done
that.
with KD and Kyrie. They're done with them. Not that Kyrie and KD is
understand.
done with Brooklyn. Brooklyn is done with KD and
I
Kyrie.
agree. I agree.
So they will take that trade. That's why they kept
I don't
Patty
think they
Mills.
would take that trade.
so let me ask
They
this
should
question.
take that
They
trade.
want to trade him, but I don't think they would take that trade.
Let me ask this
For
question.
one
So-
season, I think they will.
I don't think they would.
But why is
No.
nobody thinking about adding a third team into this? Because you have another team out there on the West Coast that have a point guard that's kind of disgruntled and don't want to be there. And that guy I'm talking about is Damian Lillard.
He ain't going nowhere.
He just
He
signed.
definitely ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
What he signed?
He just signed an extension for 2 more seasons.
And what
He
that
ain't
mean?
going nowhere.
That mean he can't get
They
traded?
ain't going nowhere.
No,
They're-
they
He
gonna
wants
trade
to
him.
stay there.
Portland is actually trying to get him help.
They want him
Portland
to
is
have
that
help.
he's recruiting.
Who they
He's
got?
trying to get KD to Portland.
Yeah.
He's recruiting.
That might be an issue.
Dame ain't going nowhere.
That
So
might be-
I don't
Now,
know
dude-
what sources is saying he's disgruntled. He ain't going nowhere. I think Dame is gonna retire a Blazer.
That's
Well,
what I put money on that.
it's possible, but I don't because he was very upset about the whole Chauncey Billups hiring and all this other stuff. Now, do they have the cap space? Do they have the money
He's upset,
to
but
be able
he's
to get
still retired.
a KD?
They got the pieces to trade to get a
They got,
KD.
they got the money. They got
Yeah.
the pieces.
They got the pieces. And
They got
I'm
the
sure
pieces
they
to
willing
trade
to
to get
spend.
KD. Yes.
They ain't paying nobody else but
They
Dame.
just signed Anthony Simmons to a 4-year, $100 million contract.
Okay, make that 2 people.
What's the center, whatever the
Jerkic.
center is.
Yeah, Jerky
Yeah, he just got a $70 million
got
contract.
paid.
He got 70.
So I mean, they got
Throwing money out
money, they got the pieces.
Well,
It's just can Lillard stay healthy this year? He was
Then
hurt
Lillard stay
all
healthy.
last year.
That's
he,
Portland.
he had a few
Stay
surgeries.
healthy.
He did have a few surgeries. Now let me ask this question because we jumping around and we talking about people staying healthy and people getting money and people having surgeries. What y'all think about we can't call him snacks no more because he came out doing things.
Protein bar.
What you think about protein bar?
Young
He's
protein
talking
shake.
about Zion Williamson for everybody
Yeah.
that's out there
Ball
that
down
don't
here
know
in
our-
the-
our
He
inner
yeah.
lingo.
signed that old extension, got 231.
I just want to, and Amir kind of tried to explain that to me. I just want to know how his extension came out to be $20-30 million more than what Ja got.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I was very confused by this, and that was 40.
I'm still confused.
Well,
I'm
I was
confused.
very-
That'll be
Amir,
the second
explain
pick.
that to me.
So basketball is one of the few ones, even football. Football and basketball are the few that, depending on where you get drafted at, is how much money you make.
But they were 1 and 2.
So-
There was a $20-30 million difference between 1 and
So
2.
no,
He wanted to.
so he can still make what Snacks makes, but he has to work more for it, if that makes sense.
It don't.
That's
Not to
what
me,
that's,
it don't.
that's
It
how the
don't.
CBA was. That's how the CBA was ratified. That's legalities that got nothing. You know, that's
Right.
like if you've been with a team for 5 years, you get the super max. But if you only play with them for 3 years, you only get the max. You know what I'm saying? So that's basketball.
Yeah, that one confused me. Does it anybody that's watching? Do y'all know how this works? Because
Like,
I
you
mean,
can't
they
go
were
to
1
another
and 2
team.
in the same draft. 1 and 2 in the same draft. Williamson
Okay,
automatically gets $231
example,
million, but
Zion-
John number 2 has to work for his.
Hold on. Zion and Joker both signed the exact same contract today. But Joker got
Crazy.
more because he's
Yeah.
been with the team for 5
Yeah.
years.
I
Yeah.
understand. I
Zion
understand that
A little
part.
bit less because he was the first pick. Ja signed the exact same contract as them, but getting less because he was the number 2 pick.
But
That's all part of the CBA.
But that's what I'm saying. There's a $30 million difference between 1 and 2. That's the part I don't get. I understand.
That's huge.
I understand, if I've been with this team this long, I'm eligible to get this. I understand all that. What I don't understand is you were the number 1. Amir, you were the number 1 pick in the same draft that I went number 2. I've totally outplayed you to this point, and you're getting $30 million more than me when we signed the exact same contract. That's the part I don't understand.
First of all, why
It's
y'all number 1 and
legally-
2
it's
and well being
legally
right?
in writing in the CBA. That's what they agreed on.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I understand.
The players
I
agree
just-
to that.
It just doesn't make sense.
That's the reason why Bradley
It really
Beal
does.
is going to retire in the old folks' home in DC because he's going to be there forever and make a $1,000 million or whatever.
Hey,
1,000 million.
Rob, Rob,
And that's right. He's going to make $1,000
He
million.
I
went
told
extra
Rob,
crazy with that.
when Bill opted out and you was like, oh, Bill might be gone. I was like, nope, that boy finna sign for
You about to
$300 million,
sign for
Yeah,
$251 million.
you called it.
$100
You
billion.
called it.
He ain't going nowhere. That boy was not finna leave $50 million on the table.
But,
He
so
wanted
look,
every dime
Get your
they
paper.
possibly had.
Hey, look, I don't blame him.
I don't
Get your
blame him at
paper.
all. I don't blame him at all.
Get
So
your
look,
paper, young man, get your paper.
we all know about Zion Williamson's his injury and his health history, right? Is he worth the money?
No.
To me, no. He hasn't proved anything. Dude has missed
He's worth the
85
hype.
games over the last 3 years. And you get
He's worth the
20,
hype.
31, like
Potentially, he's
But-
worth the hype. But he hasn't.
he's missed what
He hasn't lived
he's missed what the equivalent of a whole season in the last 3 years. He's missed 85 games over the last 3 years.
So
If
what
I
he
can
got-
show up to work 2/3 of the time and get paid that much, hey, I mean,
but what he got was essentially the Joel Embiid contract, right? Same thing happened to Joel Embiid in his first few seasons.
but Joel Embiid, even when Joel Embiid flashed more potential, like I was still no. As a matter of fact, I don't even think Joel Embiid got that big contract
did.
right off the bat.
He did. He did.
didn't.
Yes, he did.
He got a
I'm
super
gonna have to
max.
look that one
For
up.
some
I don't
reason, I
think
want
Joel
to say he
Embiid got
did.
that big contract right off the bat. I think he
He got the super
I
max
might be
when he signed for
wrong.
his
I might be
extension.
wrong.
Here's-
But
I think the difference.
I'm gonna look that one up.
I think the difference between Embiid and obviously Williamson, Embiid gets hurt putting everything he has in
That
the
part.
game. You can see his ankle give out on a rebound or on a crossover. Where Zion Williamson, I think he's picking up his warmers. You're like, yeah, I'm out for the game. It's like
Well-
there's a difference.
no, Zion jumped with
I
so
don't
much.
see Williamson getting hurt in the game.
He jumped with
Well-
so much pizzazz and so much gumption when he comes down with all that snack weight.
Well, I mean, we talking about
It breaks
this
everything.
guy. This guy did something I've never seen before. This guy busted completely out of a shoe
He did bust
in a
through that.
game.
And I would have stood Nike.
That was amazing.
Yes, Nike should have. Nike would have had to come see me after
That
that.
actually dropped Nike's stock prices, by the way.
It really did. And so, after his injury, I think it's hard to say. His injury was bad. He had a bad injury. I think his recovery wasn't the way it should have been. so
But-
it derailed them even more.
We gonna talk about
And
that.
then on top of that, he had poor dietary issues going on because New Orleans was feeding him real good.
First of all,
And
do not
so-
blame.
But you
Do
know
not blame
what?
the city of New Orleans for having amazing food.
But
I'm
you know
sorry.
what kind of threw me off about Zion? You can go out there and dunk on 7th graders, but you can't get on the court. Like I don't
Well,
understand.
that was recent.
What?
You know that
You
was
rather
recent.
dunk
though.
on 7th graders, but you can't get on the court.
But wait,
But you know
that wasn't
that's
his
not-
decision. That wasn't his
Yeah.
decision. That was the team's decision to keep him out.
And that was they
The
made
team
that
made that
call for
decision.
him.
He was gunning to play after the All-Star break. He was gunning to play. They wanted to keep him out.
He's still a kid. You know, he's still very young. He has a lot of years ahead of him as long as he can manage his weight, as long as he can manage his knees. But right now, he is just a better dunker than Greg Oden. That's it. Right now.
So
Oh my
So,
God! You put him in that
coming into
level.
this- coming into the season, because he went to Greg Oden, and I mean, I don't want to call Zion a bust just yet. I want to give him a chance,
I
but
say it right now.
you never know. You're right. Coming into the season, you going into the season, you have a healthy Zion Williamson. How do y'all see the Pelican season playing out?
Are we talking about the New Orleans Pelicans?
The
Or
New Orleans
Lakers?
Pelicans.
Or
First
the
of
New
all,
Orleans
Mr.
Lakers?
Celtics, sir. Just be happy because you got Danilo Gallinari and he not about to do nothing. He go sit there and just be trash. So calm
No,
down.
that's not
We got
official yet.
Malcolm
It's
Brogdon
not
too.
official yet.
It's not fish. It's not,
Not
fish.
my bad.
It's not official.
I
We got
can't
Malcolm
report
Brogdon
that
too.
I can't report it. But the New Orleans
I
Pelicans,
like the Pelicans with CJ McCollum. I thought that trade was huge, and I felt for Damian Lillard. That was his BFF, you know. So I'm not even gonna respond to that. Going back to the finals,
I'm not
we
talking.
don't want Boston choking 2
I
years
was
in a
just
row.
about to answer his previous question, but
Hey.
he's on timeout. Harden's
Since you
on
brought
timeout.
it up, with Brogdon on board, we're going back.
Sir, we talking about the other
Stop.
question. Don't go back to them real quick. Let's answer the first question first, and then you can go to Brogdon.
What was the question?
Hold on, wait, because you didn't hear. Let me lift. Let me lift real quick. Let me lift.
Get closer.
The question was, where do you see the Pelican season going? If they presuming they go in,
Zion healthy?
they have a healthy team,
Is Zion on the court for?
a healthy team. Zion is on the team, a healthy team.
I like Brandon Ingram. I like CJ McCollum. They got pieces. I think their ceiling though in the West is a 7th to 9th seed.
Really? You know what?
In the West. In the West.
I
The
give
West
you
is
that.
brutal.
I feel like the Pelicans, if they go into the season healthy, I feel like they're a problem. They're gonna be a problem in the Western.
But I
Conference.
mean, they still got to deal with Phoenix,
Yeah,
Golden State,
Phoenix,
Dallas
Golden
has
State,
gotten better. Memphis has
Dallas,
gotten better.
and Memphis.
Minnesota has gotten better. I mean, that's already 5 right there.
in the last 3 years, Minnesota has beaten New
What
Orleans.
are the Los Angeles old men gonna do? But I said they've gotten better.
They've
I
gotten
said
better,
they've gotten better.
and the Pelicans
haven't-
have too. That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, I realistically see them being a 4 or 5 seed if everybody's healthy. They just got the boy from Australia who's supposed to be a better portion of Ben Simmons. Apparently, Australia teach you how to play defense, but do not teach you how to shoot.
So who do you have them behind then? If you see them as a 4 seed, who do you what 3 teams do you have ahead of them?
Phoenix, Memphis, and Golden State.
Phoenix, Memphis, and Golden State.
Yep.
So you don't like what Minnesota just did, adding Gobert?
I like what they did, but I don't.
That's going to be a problem.
I think it's gonna be up and down.
You don't like what Dallas did, adding Christian Wood? That's
Here we
another
are.
way to move.
Are we not talking about it again? We're talking about hypotheticals. Are we not talking about a healthy Denver squad with Jamal Murray did
getting
not
it.
play last season?
Hold up. I was getting to them. But yes, Denver.
It's all.
Michael Porter Jr. finally having his back fixed.
Is it finally going to be
Right.
fixed? Though? But it's hypothetical. That's what I'm saying.
We speak of hypotheticals. We're saying everybody's healthy, right?
Right, exactly.
If Zion can finally play on the court, why can't Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray
can get healthy?
I can see it, but I'm still gonna take the Pelicans at the 4 seed.
I mean, of course,
and I did say 4 or 5. So, but I'm gonna take them at the 4 seed
with only Phoenix, Golden State.
First. Bobby Bonilla Day.
With only Phoenix, Golden State, and who's the other one?
Memphis.
So you only got those 3 ahead of New Orleans
on July 1st.
So no
Minnesota, Central Standard Time.
Denver, no.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. I'm literally sitting here. So you saying that the Denver Nuggets will finish lower than the New Orleans Pelicans?
That's what I'm saying. I'm calling my shot right now, sir.
Hey,
you can't
get
it.
Hey, look,
David wants to get on the show. Hey, David, come August 1st, we're gonna start having people come on. Just inbox Amir or go knock on Amir's door. Y'all stay close enough.
You inbox me, and I'm gonna determine whether or not you can get on. But if you come on talking about Celtics, I'm putting you back off the show, sir. I can't put you in timeout. You in timeout.
Hey, we love our teams, but you keep saying the Celtics going to the finals and the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl every season. Y'all, we done with y'all.
And the Cowboys,
we can't have y'all on the show.
I was gonna give you a bye.
The Celtics going back to the finals, you can come on the show as my special guest.
I was gonna give you a bye with the Celtics. The Cowboys, really? That's like saying
the Cowboys,
man. But back to where we was at, because I almost got off topic and I almost forgot what we was talking about. Go ahead and talk about your Celtics, because you was about to go there and talk about Brogdon and everybody else.
I wasn't about to talk about them, but I mean, if you want to talk about them, we can talk about them.
Either way, today is Bobby.
What do you want to talk about?
Today is Bobby Bonilla Day. Y'all didn't know he is still getting paid millions of dollars until 2035.
Millions of dollars.
That is Robin somebody without a gun at his finest.
No. 2037. He still has 15 years.
2035.
I thought it was 15 years more.
2030. He has from 2011 to 2035.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Oh,
Cowboys Super Bowl champs.
Either way, I mean, you're getting a meal.
I got somebody named Derek in the comments talking about Cowboys Super Bowl champs. I can't do this with him.
Cowboys won't even win their division next year, and I called that earlier.
Ooh. Cowboys ain't gonna win the division.
They'll win the division.
Who gonna win the NFC?
I don't know. I like the Eagles. I'm liking that Eagles squad.
And I'm calling it now.
And I'm a Giants fan. I'm liking that Eagles squad.
I like
and
Philly.
I said what I said.
I like Philly only because, my boy AJ Brown is there kicking passes now.
Let me tell you something. He about to be an entire problem in that NFC East. He about to eat everybody.
I hate Tennessee for trading them to Philly when we got Philly this year on the schedule. I hate that. That boy's probably going to try to come out and have 20 catches for like 400 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Bro, everybody who left the 49ers went to the AFC West. I don't know. I don't understand what happened. I think they saw the schedule and knew they was going. I don't know what happened, but
y'all good. You still got Jimmy G as your quarterback.
That's right. That's right. We gonna do everything that needs to happen. He gonna start throwing, and then he going straight to Cleveland, because we all know Cleveland ain't got a quarterback. He ain't got a quarterback. Lord Jesus,
Speaking of Cleveland, what is going on with Baker? He's supposed to be in Seattle 3 days ago, according to our insiders.
I don't understand it.
According to our insiders, he's supposed to be in Seattle like 3 days ago.
He was, and then they were talking about Carolina. Somebody said the Dallas Cowboys got the easiest schedule, and they still ain't making the playoffs. So what's going to be the excuse then when they don't make the playoffs with the easiest schedule? Please tell me.
So you know what's crazy? Statistically, the bottom 4 teams that has the easiest schedule is the entire NFC East.
They said the NFC East is the new power conference.
Ramona said Cowboys going to the Super Bowl is equivalent to me saying Steelers going to the Big Show. We're the Steelers.
That makes sense.
That
makes sense. We gonna say
I know Cowboys. Mason Rudolph better sit down somewhere.
We gonna say the Cowboys and the Steelers in the Super Bowl this year.
they're gonna be out there signing autographs at the Super
I
Bowl.
was about to
but
say they
they're
must
not
gonna be the
in
halftime
the
show.
game.
They're gonna be sitting. They're gonna be sitting
They're
next
They're
to
gonna be doing the halftime show.
Exactly. They can come out with Beyonce at
Oh, no.
halftime.
Let me tell you
That's about
something.
it.
They need to. It wasn't y'all year. You right, Derek. It was not y'all year. It wasn't y'all year. It was 1995.
Because I can't let us get out of here without talking about what's going on in college football right now. USC, UCLA going to the Big Ten.
Didn't they just say they had a unity? They was
not a unity.
They was
Unity.
coming together.
You know, it was supposed to be the Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the ACC against the SEC, and then as soon as LA opened up, Big Ten was like, okay, screw that, let's go. We in LA now.
DTA, don't trust anybody.
So my question is, I don't think USC and UCLA really thought this through because what happens when you got to go to Iowa in November or December and play a game in November and play a football game?
It's not that they didn't think it through. It's not that they didn't think it through because all they saw was them dollars. Because they're going to the Big Ten, it's going to be a lot more money for them,
right?
Than if they would stay in the Pac-12. But yeah, on the field, I don't think they thought about, hey, we got to go to Michigan in December, or in November.
Ohio State, or
they thought about
Wisconsin.
I don't really follow college football too much. Can't say that with straight face. But did Bama win last year?
Whoa, little daddy. Hold on.
Somebody got more the question was asked because somebody said
in the comment section.
Somebody said Bama is all you need to know about college
football. Responded to the comment section, Rob.
I feel like
that's how we do it. We want to make sure that our viewers know that we
see them.
I feel like
I
feel like it's not real true.
Bama did not win it, but I'm sorry to tell y'all, we made back-to-back national championship games.
Sir,
that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Sir, don't nobody care about your back-to-back if you didn't come away with the hardware. Also, if y'all don't go to Texas A&M and win, y'all getting put out the SEC.
Rob.
Oh, speaking of
Rob, what's going on in Texas A&M?
Hey, look, let's talk about it. So, hey, look. Hey, first off, little recruiter buddy, he might want to go ahead and clear out his locker because I'm pretty sure he's good as fired. But the video he put up where he walking around in the stadium showed, hey, look, up in those skyboxes, those guys up there, they're gonna pay you a lot of money coming here. And I'm like, whoa, little daddy, isn't that what Jimbo was just on the podium going off about Nick Saban saying all this and that, and Nick Saban this and that, and we don't do that here, but lo and behold, here's the video with what society we live in. We live around young people that love to record everything and post it on social media. So you're gonna broadcast that out? It felt good to me. I enjoyed every second of it.
I feel like Jimbo was upset because Nick Saban did not buy him a Camaro or a Hummer or a Nissan Altima. That's what I feel like.
Well, he bought him more than that though.
And it's the thing is everybody got upset.
Picture, right? Saban made Jimbo, right?
Yes, he did. Right.
Yeah, but he didn't buy him a car. That's what I'm saying.
No,
because Saban made Derrick Henry. He made.
Well,
he made a lot of people, but he didn't buy Jimbo Fisher a car.
He should have thought about this. And
he bought him a few cars by giving him a chance to coach. Is what I'm getting at.
Well, Nick Saban shouldn't have brought Prime into all of that foolishness, and he should have worded everything completely different what he said, in my opinion. But I understood the gist of what he's saying. If the NCAA doesn't get this NIL together and figure out what you're doing, in a minute, it's going to get out of control because if you don't put some parameters in place, it's way out of control.
I think it's already out of control. You got the I can't remember what college he's going to, but dude already has a $9.5 million NIL deal.
Hurricanes. He playing for Miami.
That is crazy.
Yes, he has a $9 million NIL.
That is crazy. Where's the incentive for these cats to get any better to get to the NFL now?
You're right. It's real ridiculous out here. They didn't have
get
to.
your paper, young man. Get your paper.
Right.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying that. Get your paper, young man. Get your paper.
They didn't have to mention Deion Sanders. Also, before we get out of here, we gonna talk about Arch Manning going to Texas.
No,
That's the part where I was going.
Don't nobody want to talk about that.
Don't nobody care.
Next
And this is
question.
what I was just saying, that if you don't, what Nick Saban was saying is, if you don't get some parameters in place and get some control over this, in a minute, you're not going to be able to stop Texas from buying the Natty, because Texas money is totally different from everybody's money. University of Texas money, and then that's the other part.
Exactly.
That's the other part. Because what happens?
Alabama's already been doing that.
And he's saying, like, if you don't get control, we'll get involved too. But he ain't saying in that manner.
Look, before NIL was a thing, look, none of us are dumb. None of us are dumb. We know that money has been being passed long before NIL was ever a thing. We know that. We're not stupid.
But the thing is, though, we weren't doing it the way that the conglomerate is doing it, though.
Right.
The conglomerate is making it very obvious what they're doing. They're using it as a tool, like, hey, you come here, I'll give you this $1 million deal. I'll give you this $2 million deal.
It's very obvious when he was doing it because it wasn't legal when he was doing it.
Right. But that's the thing. Now,
I'm not gonna knock these guys for getting NILs, because I have a nephew out there that need to be in line for NILs right now.
Kid Flash.
You know what I'm saying? Kid Flash. He needs to be
Kid
in line for NILs. And I'm gonna talk to his daddy, and we gonna get that together. But
shout out Kid Flash.
He about to be playing on Sundays. In about 10 years, he playing on Sundays.
Well, I just want to come to a couple of games. I ain't even.
You know what I'm saying?
DJ, I just want to come to a couple of games. That's it.
We in there. We in there right now. But first, also, fellas, I want to say y'all got some real nice drinkware over there. That y'all sporting real nice. I don't understand how that happened, but cheers to y'all.
Shout out to JBZ.
Yo,
the Father's Day,
baby.
You know, we love doing this for y'all every week. As the time winds down, we'll go ahead and drop a little bit of going out knowledge for y'all. What y'all got on the back end, fellas?
Nothing for that?
It's a big weekend for fights. I know that much.
I'm sorry. What? I zoned out.
I got. It's a big weekend for fights, people. Saturday, tomorrow, Adesanya, Cannonier, Max Holloway fights Volkanovski. I got a zoo in my backyard right now. It's as loud as I don't know what.
Royal Rumble, baby.
Oh, Miles Bridges' NBA career is probably over. We'll talk about that next week, though.
We'll talk about that next week.
I don't know.
We'll talk about that next week. That boy's career is probably over, but we'll talk about that next week.
And I think Brittany Griner's next phase of court cases start next Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how this plays out and see what they're gonna level on her this next go round. Hopefully they let that woman get out of here soon.
All our WWE fans, Money in the Bank this weekend.
This weekend, Fleck. I was just told that in a few years we can host our show from the suite where Kid Flash will be playing for a few games. So we go take that to the bank, Kid Flash Daddy.
We in there. Hey, Derek,
like that.
We got proof. We in there.
And before we get out of here, we just want to say shout out to the 30 years. And we'll talk to y'all next week. Y'all be easy, fellas. People.
Barbecue's a sport.
Vikings at their own 39. It's third down. 3 receivers right, Thielen left. Marshawn Lattimore 12 yards from Adam. Case on a deep drop. Steps up in the pocket. He'll fire to the right side. Caught by Diggs. Stay back. Oh, my God. 30.